how do the shoulders work properly in the swing? How do they tilt properly in the swing? You know, if you're someone who's having trouble with consistency, this is likely an issue that's going on in your swing. And also if you're having trouble when you make a full shoulder turn, being able to see the golf ball at the top of the swing. So you end up shortening your swing and losing a lot of power because you want to make sure that you can see the golf ball. So what I mean by shoulder tilts in the swing, or how the shoulder should work, is basically when you're turning up to the top, to be able to not move your head way off the ball, or to be able to stay in your posture properly, you have to tilt your shoulders. So what that movement would look like is what's called side bend. So I'm tilting my left shoulder down in the backswing. So for a right-hander, if I didn't tilt my shoulders, I would go like this, right? And obviously that's not going to be good. I'm not going to be able to see the golf ball from here. And I'm also going to have to make compensations in the downswing to make that work. So what we need to do in the swing, in the backswing, to get this to work properly is we have to tilt our shoulder down. So imagine I'm just going to do the tilt before I start my backswing, and now I'm going to do my backswing. And now you can see I'm in the right position. So if you look at that from this angle, if I do my tilt again and I turn, that's the position that I want to be in when I'm going up to the top. Now in the downswing, we want to have that other side bend, right? We want to have right side bend as we're coming through contact. If we don't, then we're going to end up coming through with our shoulders very, very level, right? That's going to be early extension, flipping, very, very difficult to be consistent in the swing. So in order to keep our head steady, in order to not have to make other compensations in the swing, we have to have these tilts in the swing. A lot of people struggle with this. So I have a great drill that I'm going to show you that's going to help you to get this working a lot better. So first, and what you can do this at your home initially, just like I have set up here initially, and then you can kind of take it out to the range. So what I would do is I'd put a ball down. I'd have your ball down here, and then I would take another club. I'm going to use this pool noodle or whatever you got laying around the house. You know, another club, alignment sticks, pool noodle, whatever you got, you can make do with here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one alignment stick and I'm going to put it 2 feet on the other side of the golf ball. And it doesn't have to be exact. We're just trying to get a good guesstimate here. So 2 feet on the other side of the golf ball, and I'm going to put my pool noodle here, another 2 feet on the other side of that. And the reason why I have two here, I'll explain here in a minute, is your backswing tilt is going to be different than your downswing tilt. And that's why we have two sticks. So we're going to be tracing one for the backswing, and we'll be tracing one for the downswing. So what we want to do first is take the club out of our hands. I think if we do something that gives us really good feedback right away, this is going to make it a lot easier. So we're going to take the club out of our hands, and we're going to put it right up here on our shoulders, so that way we can get feedback for where our shoulders are pointing throughout the swing, and if we're tilting the right way, and so on and so forth. So really, really important, when you put this up on your shoulders, you need to get it nice and high up here on the shoulders. The easiest way to do that is just kind of cross your hands in front just like this. And I want you to have it basically equal on each end. So I got the butt end pointing out that way, and I got the club end going out that way. It doesn't matter which one you use. Just you can use an alignment stick for this as well. Just have something across your shoulders here, but you want to have it on top of your shoulders going across your shoulder, your collarbone here. We don't want it on your chest, and we don't want it in your elbow pits. The reason why is, look, I can turn, and then I can kind of go like this, or I can manipulate it. I can have my shoulders level, right, pretty level as I'm going up the top, and I can manipulate this to do what I want it to do. And that's not going to be an accurate representation of how your shoulders are turning. So get it right up on top of the shoulders there. That's going to be what you want to do. So I'm going to get in my address position here with the ball, and then I'm going to put the club across my shoulders here. Now, as I turn to the top, what I want to do is I want to trace this stick, the club, across the furthest stick. And the reason why is because your backswing shoulder plane is going to be a little bit flatter than a little less steep than your downswing shoulder plane. I'll explain why that is here in a minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace that club right at that pool noodle as I'm going up to the top. And you can see as I'm doing that, I'm getting in that left side bend. You know, as a right-handed golfer, I'm getting in that left side bend. If I turn like I did before, you can see where the butt end of the club is pointing. It's pointing toward the doorknob over there on my door. So I want to get that nice and steep. So what I'm going to feel is that left side bend as I'm going up to the top. I'm going to feel my hip turning back. Right? I'm going to feel my head staying nice and steady. Now I want you to be cognizant of where the ball is when you're doing this as well. So that way you'll more easily be able to transfer this to your swing. So I'm just going to do a few of those. And I'm going to try to get this butt into the club to be pointing a little bit behind the ball too, to make sure I'm getting a good shoulder turn. So to look at that from this angle, I'm trying to make sure I'm getting a good shoulder turn as I'm doing this as well. Because now that I'm getting a good tilt, I can get a good shoulder turn too, because I can see the ball now. Now on the downswing, what I want to do is I want to trace this other end of the stick on the lower stick. And the reason why we want it lower is because we're going to be coming down and getting some good forward shaft lean. You know, if we're not going to be really extending, we're going to be doing kind of our squat move and turning down and getting into that good position at impact. So when you're in that better position at impact, you're going to have a steeper shoulder plane as you're coming through. What's really, really important with this and why we want to trace the line is so that way our shoulders stay on plane. What a lot of people do and have trouble with is they'll get here and then they will go like this. Well, now look, I'm not tracing down that stick. I'm going like that. They go into that right side bend too soon. So this is going to help you to get into that right side bend at the right time. So you can see I'm turning, I'm getting into that right side bend at the right time. I'm not doing it back here. If I did it back here, I would go, my shoulder tilt would go way over there, right? It's happening at the right time if I'm tracing it right down like that. So then I'm going to go through into the full finish. So I do lots of repetitions, and you can do this at home. Great time to do it, you know, in the wintertime if you're having trouble with this. Set up to it, get it across your shoulders, go nice and slow at first, right? And I'm going to drop back a little bit, right, to get my shoulder plane a little bit steeper. I'm going to drop my hips back a little bit as I do this to get my shoulder plane steeper, and I'm going to come all the way through into the full finish. Now just do that really, really slow at first, making sure you're getting that good turn and tracing those sticks. And then I would just speed it up a little bit, go a little bit faster, a little bit faster. So again, if I step up to this, I'm going to go a little bit faster this time. So I'm going to get in my good tilt. I'm just going to go all the way around and go a little bit faster every single time until basically I'm getting to full speed with it. Once I get to where I'm at full speed with it, I'm starting to get comfortable with the motions of what I'm doing. Now I'm going to try to do it in a practice swing. And again, you can save your money and not go to the range for a while and get this right. The way, a lot of people make the mistake of they try to think, okay, well, I just need to turn my shoulder steeper, and they think it's just going to happen right away in the swing. Unfortunately, it usually doesn't work that way. Typically, you got to go and get reps in, get comfortable with it, and then work your way toward hitting a golf ball. So it's always great, especially this time of year, to get some reps in, changing some things at home. So I'd make sure it looks good on video in a practice swing before you try and hit it with the golf ball. Because typically, if you can't do it slow, you can't do it fast. If you can't do it in a practice swing, you can't do it with the golf ball. It's typically the way that it works. So you want to kind of work your way up toward it. And if you can do it with all those, and if you can do it, in a practice swing, then you can already just go to the golf ball, right? So what we want to do is get it good in our practice swing now. And what a big mistake that people make is they feel like they've done these reps, right, with the club across the shoulders, and then magically it's going to show up in your swing. You need to be very conscious of how your body is moving when you're doing this. It's not going to magically make its way into your swing. You have to be conscious of, okay, I need to make sure, keep these there so that way they're a good visual aid, but we need to make sure that we're still getting into those tilts. We're still getting these same feelings. So it might be good to do some reps when you're doing this to make a mental note. Okay, where are my hips at? How much shoulder tilt am I feeling? How much left side bend am I feeling? Where is my head at? Make mental notes of what all those things feel like. And then when you go to take your practice swing, try to get those same feelings, those same mental notes that you had where you're getting into that good position at the top with the shoulder in your tilts. So make some practice swings nice and slow at first. And then once those start to feel better and you look on video, shoulder planes look better, then I would add the golf ball and start doing it with the golf ball. But if you do these drills with the sticks there, it's going to give you a very good representation of what's going on with the shoulder tilts. All right, so hopefully that helps. Let me know if you have any questions about that, but hopefully that helps with the shoulder tilt questions. Those shoulder tilts are so important for consistency, and so are our spine tilts. This is really the number one key to consistency in the golf swing. It's why it's the first piece of the top speed golf system. So basically what I'm talking about is that at address here, we want to have a good amount of spine tilt away from the target. And then as we go up to the top and as we're tilting our shoulders down, we also want to remain in that good stable spine tilt. We don't want to be tilting down and going back like this. If I'm going back like this, I'm going to tend to want to come over the top. My shoulder tilt is going to tend to want to come out this way, and I'm not going to be tracing that line that we're talking about. So in order to get these tilts to work a lot better, we also, these shoulder tilts, we also want to have a good, stable, and fluid spine. So if you'd like to see a preview of our Stable Fluid Spine course that was put together by Clay Ballard, who's the founder of Top Speed Golf, just stick around. We'll play a preview of that Stable Fluid Spine course video, but if you'd like to see the entire video, just click the iCard, or you can click the link in the description below. Play well.
It allows us to have consistency in the golf swing. And what is it that allows that consistency to fall apart and create some bad rounds? That's what we're going to talk about in this video today. Let's go ahead and get started. Everything that happens in the golf swing is initially dictated by what happens with the spine. So if we're looking at a skeleton, my spine's in the center of my body, and everything else in my body is attached to my spine. So my shoulders are attached to my spine, my arms attached to my shoulders, and then my arms are going to be actually swinging the club. Now when I see players that are really struggling, those guys that are hitting it out in the woods right, they're hitting in the left, then they have a few good holes, what's happening is their spine angle is changing. As they go to the top of the swing, maybe they have a reverse pivot, spine's angled back, falling back to the right, but there's a lot of inconsistency in that. And what happens is, as good athletes as we all are, the number one fundamental in golf, correct, keep it nice and stable, but fluid, we're going to be able to hit those good clean shots time and time again, and that's what I'm going to show you in this series of videos.
Henrik Stenson, top 5 in both driving distance and accuracy. Rory McIlroy here, playing some of the best golf that anybody's ever played, and you can see just how stable.